Hi, so I'm going to run through my supplements regime with you. Pretty much all the supplements I'm taking are those advocated by Dr. Sarah Myhill in her book, all right? So it is actually all there, but I know from my own experience when I first came down with this, and I'm whispering a bit because it's only 6:15 and I'm the only person awake at the moment. And you can see my sleep mask because my skin is old and it doesn't bounce back. So you can see the etchings of my sleep mask. Anyway, so the book sets out all the supplements. Not in a nice, neat list, just piecemeal through the book. And you kind of have to put it all together yourself, and that's a bit scary. And then also there are so many that you're not always sure why you're taking it, and do you really need to take it, and is this how you're feeling normal, and is it something you should be scared of? Anyway, with my really big relapse recently, my parents paid for me to have a management plan through Dr. Sarah Myhill. So it felt safer, right? It's actually, as far as I can tell, very little is, nothing, as far as I can tell, is special to me, right? It's all there in the book for ME, CFS, and long COVID. I haven't read the latest edition, but I know she addresses it, long COVID sufferers. So I'm just gonna show you what I do and how I do it. And that too was a bit scary to me that first day, even through the management plan. It was kind of, okay, so I've got to inject myself. Oh, what? How? That sounds a bit scary. It's not actually, but it feels really scary to start with. So the first supplements I'm gonna share with you are these. Now, the reason I'm not actually gonna take these now and show you me taking them is because I always take them upon waking, and you aren't gonna see me just waking up. I want to share with you, but there is such a thing as oversharing. So I've got these two things, okay? And this one, Metafive 1 and Metafive 2. Now they're both porcine thyroid glandulas. That means they're natural, they come from the thyroids of pigs. And Metafive 1, Metafive 2, Metafive 1 is simply half the dose of Metafive 2. So the instructions were, so I bought both, right? Which actually, as it turns out, was really sensible of me. Because she advises you to build them up really gradually. So I started with just one capsule of this, in first thing in the morning, and then as you'll see, I take them around midday as well. Okay, so I just started with one of these in the morning, and then built up and had one at lunch at midday, and then had two or one of those in the morning, and then keep with the small one dose at midday, and so on and so forth, until now. This morning, I've just moved up to two of these, and then at midday it'll be one of these and one of these. And what's slightly odd and disconcerting to start with is, although they look like this, so the big ones look like that, all right? So your normal kind of capsule, which is intended for swallowing. Well, she recommends letting them dissolve sublingually. That means under the tongue. And I was like, really? That also just seems odd. But it's okay, actually. After I'd done it the first couple of times, I was like, all right, okay, I've got a technique now. And that technique is to soften the capsule in my mouth. And once I can feel the shell casing starting to dissolve, then I stick it under my tongue, and then it just dissolves actually quite quickly. Then we have, where's the other one gone? We have this one. So this is pregnenolone, all right? Same thing. So this is for my adrenals, which she thinks from the management plan are fatigued. But I kind of guessed that about myself anyway, right from the get-go when I first came down with ME CFS, because I had been caning it in terms of lifestyle stress for about 5 years plus, actually, if we're being honest. So yeah, it didn't take a genius to know that I was struggling. Also, I still remember my I'd had ME/CFS for about a week, and my husband and I went away just for a night. I think it was 2 nights, up on the Yorkshire moors, which was amazing. But I just remember him doing boiled eggs, and I went batshit crazy over him getting the timing wrong. I mean, I got super mad over the timing of eggs. That's not normal. And I clocked it wasn't normal, and thankfully so did he. And we avoided a big argument, and I managed to say, that wasn't normal, was it? So anyway, enough of that little story. I'm now going to go through the rest of so taken these, they've been done. Usually have a little read in bed, so it's at least half an hour later before I do the rest of this routine. And I gather it is, Dr. Myhill says to keep the taking of these separate from everything else and on an empty stomach. So that's why I take it when I do, and leave that little bit of a gap. Because the next thing, some of it feels quite, the ascorbic acid feels quite potent. All right, so water, and this is probably way too much detail. Then what's next? COQ10. They're quite expensive. They are quite expensive, but you can get them kind of anywhere. And just for brand fairness, right? These are the ones I'm getting next. I like the ethos of this company, and it's British and it's easier. But thank you to bulk supplements, who are, given it's all coming from the States, was amazingly efficient. So there we go. One of those, one is what I'm taking. Then, God, I'm so practiced I can do this one-handed now. Then magnesium. Now, Dr. Myhill's really, really hot on magnesium. It's one of the minerals, and vitamins, but minerals in this case, that she insists is actually really important, and loads of people don't have enough of anyway. So I actually have magnesium kind of throughout the day. This is the only kind of pure magnesium I've bought, and I'm taking, the 1 capsule of this mega magnesium, which has in it, what magnesium is it? 3 different types. Bisglycinate, malate and aspartate are the types. I like this company because they're really clean. I like the company. Customers seem to love them. So there we go. Now, because it's a grey day in the UK today, we have had nice weather but not today. I'm also going to have a vitamin D3 and K2, 5,700 international units. And And again, it's one of those where Dr. Myhill talks about the fact that those of us in the Northern Hemisphere don't get enough vitamin D, and that the recommended dose is a really low dose. And she recommends 10,000 international units a day. Now I'm taking this, which isn't the 10,000 units, but I'm getting it in other forms, in other, kind of potions. So I've sort of worked out that this is about the right level. Next, it's the thing in the day I dread the most, right? Because the first one, it's disgusting. So first is acetyl L-carnitine. Now obviously it doesn't come in a jam jar. I've emptied this into a jam jar, all right? It's just white, crystallized sort of powder. Doesn't smell, does it smell? It smells like salt and vinegar crisps. It smells like that. It doesn't taste like that. If it tasted like salt and vinegar crisps, I'd be caning this, right? But it doesn't. Then vitamin B3 in the form of, again, did come in a pouch, right? I've just emptied it into a jam jar because it's easier. I have to do, I forgot to tell you that acetyl L-carnitine, it was half a teaspoon, right? This is 3/5 of a teaspoon. That's about right. I mean, I'm not going to be too, I don't like it very much, so let's get rid of a bit. Too precious about it. And also teaspoon sizes vary a bit. And to start with, I felt like, is this teaspoon too big? Is this one too small? And just gone, oh, well, you know what I mean? It's cumulative and over days, it evens out. So that's my view anyway. There you go, stick that in. So this is in the form of niacinamide, I think is the right form, which is the non-flushing form. So there. Then this next is the one, this is ascorbic acid. So ascorbic acid is a synthetic form of vitamin C. It's quite cheap. It's easily kind of available to the body. Dr. Myhill's got a lot to say about ascorbic acid, and I know when I first started on her regime myself back in 2017, I didn't stick with this for very long. I did start with it, but I didn't stick with it. I have bad tooth enamel, and I was just like, and it's incredibly acidic, and I was like, is it worth it? And I'm pretty sure I gave up on it quite quickly because of that. This time around, I thought, right, well, let's try and save the tooth enamel by going with magnesium ascorbate, is it called? I can't remember what it's called now, but you get it in different forms. And I got the one with magnesium in the title that evens out the pH balance, so it's not acidic, so it's not unkind to your teeth. And I did manage to finish that great big bag of it. It's absolutely disgusting. And I just went, do you know what? I have to find other ways around this, because I won't keep up this regime because it was so foul. I couldn't do it. This actually makes this more palatable, right? So still, but it's better. Now, I've gone for this little thingy here. How did I get that? It came with a pouch at some point. I can't remember what pouch. It might have been actually, it came with this ascorbic acid. And this is a 2 gram size, right? Again, some of this, it just takes a bit of playing with to start with to figure out, well, what's 2 grams? There's quite a lot of information, and usually the pouches come with information of, you know, whether or not a teaspoon is how many grams it is. Sometimes it's a gram, sometimes it's 2 grams. And what she talks about, Sarah Myhill, is getting the right dose. And I'll add a little bit of information about the dose and links to her page on the video. But for now, just suffice to say that I'm on 4 grams in the morning. I have more later. So then, you know, I said it was more palatable. It doesn't mean it is actually in any way pleasant. All right, 1 second. So that is the first part of the main part of my morning, first thing in the morning regime. All we've got to do now is the injection. Hold it right there. Okay, so I'm back. So I've got this multivit hydroxycobalamin. All right, anyway, that's what it looks like. And yeah, so this is the B12, the injectable form of B12. And the first time I was faced with, you know, doing this, it was a little bit intimidating, to say the least. I had to also buy syringes. This is a 0.5 syringe. The good thing is they're quite cheap. You also have to either buy a kind of clipper to clip off the pointy end, right? Or kind of dispose of it in special disposable bins. So it's quite a palaver. It really is quite a palaver. And I just remember as well the first time going, I don't know how to do this. So I'm going to show you what I do. All right. And right. So first thing, and it gets easier after you've done it a couple of times. And first time you've kind of jabbed yourself. So I'm just pressing down on that so that there's sort of no space for air at the bottom. You just stick it through the kind of rubbery lid top. I'm now, should have worn my glasses, can't see what I'm doing. Dr. Myhill said to do 0.5 ml. I'm incapable, it seems, of keeping it to 0.5. I usually go to 0.7. Apparently B12 is incredibly safe. So the worst that happens, I read, is that if you start pissing out pink pee, you know you've gone too far. Well, I haven't done that, so haven't gone too far. So I've got my 0.7 ml here, and now we're going to find space. I'll show you jabbing myself. Here we are, thing in hand, and now normally I gather a bit of meat in my thigh, top of my thigh. I sort of squish it together and stick it in there. It's just more comfortable. I've got some more meat there, so it's a bit easier. But you don't want to see me with my PJs down, so we're going to go a little bit more, you know, ladylike this morning, a little bit less revealing. I'm just going to pinch some flab. I'm not used to doing it here, so it's a bit, all right, so it's in. And then, now the rest of it is supposed to sort of, she says, to take a minute injecting in the substance, but my syringe is quite clunky, right? It's not something, and there's not enough fluid for you to do it evenly over a minute. So I usually take about 20 seconds and just do it like in 4 or 5 little pushes, really, which is my best attempt to manage her instructions. And I'm already nearly there. There really is such a small amount. All right, and There we go. It's all in. And actually that didn't hurt too much. I've been having some problems with skin sensitivity the last few weeks, and so it was really interesting doing this the first day before I'd got going, you know, with everything. I didn't even feel it, right? And actually that wasn't bad. I didn't feel that too badly either. But in the intervening period of the last 4 or so weeks, my skin has been so sensitive, it's hurt. And I don't think that skin sensitivity is normal. I've been chatting because after about a minute, she says just gently massage the spot around it, I guess, to get it circulating. And to massage for about 5 minutes. I don't manage that, I have to say. I can't be asked to be doing this for 5 minutes. So I do it for, I don't know, on and off for 3. Anyway, that's my morning routine. See you later when I'm dressed. So it's now 9:15. 3 hours on, and what a difference 3 hours makes. I'm absolutely shattered, I'm knackered, I can feel the weight on my face. But still, kind of just a million times better than I was 3 weeks ago. So everything's moving in the right direction. Possibly, well, almost certainly I wouldn't be doing it otherwise, significantly because of all this stuff I'm taking. So we are now 9:15. This next set of supplements isn't set to 9:15 specifically. It's just I take this stuff after breakfast, after I've eaten something, which I generally try to do around 9 o'clock, which gives me a 14-hour fasting window between evening meal and morning breakfast. So, right, first stop is multi-mineral mix, all right? So this I got from Dr. Sarah Myhill's shop. And what she says is it's the ideal mix of minerals. And this feels, since the relapse, feels quite significant to me because my iron is kind of all over the place. A few months ago, it was too high, it was borderline too high. And my last blood test, which was about 6 weeks after the previous one, I was borderline too low. So iron is kind of all over the place. My potassium was also quite low at a preceding blood test. And although my diet's really pretty good, everything would suggest that possibly I'm not absorbing, I don't know, who knows, but it's possible I'm not absorbing everything as well as I might. This mix, so it has apparently an ideal mix of all the different minerals. It also contains B12, which obviously I don't need because of the injections, but apparently you can only die from B12 by drowning in it. So it's that safe apparently. And it also contains D3, vitamin D3. Now what you do is you should take a scoop, a 1 gram, and it comes with a little scoop. All right, that looks like this. So it's a 1 gram scoop per 2 stone of weight, or that's 28 pounds of weight. So I just go with, I'm 9 stone, but I go with 4 scoops a day. It feels like a decent amount. I could be pedantic and go with, 4.5 scoops, but I don't. So This is actually also not particularly pleasant, and apparently fruit juice does make it more palatable, but I'm on keto paleo diet, so I'm trying to keep my carbs, my sugar intake really low, so I just neck this four times a day. It's not terrible in the scheme of everything I'm taking. It's not the worst. It's just not particularly pleasant. I did try for a little while mixing it with my herbal tea, but it just ruins the tea. So I'd rather just do this. So more water. I'm now ready for multi-mineral and vitamin. And at the moment I'm taking Performance Lab, and it's 4 a day. That's when you're already taking all this. It's like, seriously? I don't know which are any better than any others. And the only reason I'm going to stop taking these is because I can't keep taking 4 a day. It just feels ridiculous. So next I'm going to go with this, the BioCare Multi, and that's just because I think I'll only have to take 2, and it's something that's been recommended by Dr. Myhill, and to be honest, she's my god in terms of what I should and shouldn't be taking. So 2 of these at the moment. I'll take another 2 later. Then there's glutathione. Glutathione reduced. So I have Jarrow formula, 500 megs. I'm pretty sure Dr. Myhill talks about taking 25 megs, but it wasn't available. So this is higher. I just, there we go. I'm having it. Then she recommends hemp seed, a dessert spoon of hemp seed, because apparently the proportion of the omegas, and I forget all the numbers, but the proportion in hemp seed oil is ideal. So there we go. Let's try and do this without spilling. Well done, me. Was remarkably delicate. Normally I spill things. And then finally we have this. I take this. I think this also has to do with the megas, and all of these last few things, all of them are recommended by Dr. Myhill. So just a teaspoon of this is actually, oh whoops, it's actually really nice, this one. I could just drink this. It's kind of lemony. It's quite pleasant. So that is that set of supplements. We'll be back in a while. So it is midday and it's time for my next thyroid glandular. So we're back to, I'm actually this time going to be having one of each of these. So the 40 megs and the 80 megs, one of each. Given my weight, Dr. Myhill reckons that I'll end up on 3 to 4 of these per day, which would be 6 to 8 of these. So I'm kind of just today hitting that midpoint of what will ultimately be 7 of the little ones, right? Is that right? Yes, which would be 3 of these and 1 of these. So, and apparently what you, how you know that you've gone too far is when you start experiencing feeling like you've had like 20 cups of coffee, apparently. So I'm not there yet. I was sort of expecting that might happen. I suppose it still might, because apparently thyroid glandulas stay in your system. So it's not like the pregnenolone that I think has a shorter kind of shelf life in the body, that moves through quite quickly. The thyroid is somewhat cumulative, I think. It's lasts in the body kind of at least a day. So we'll see how we go. I'm just conscious that any time now I could start to feel that kind of, you know, shaky, too much coffee feeling. But for now, I'm going to take my large Metavive and my little one here. I don't think you need to see them, but there we go, just in case you do. And there we go. So I will see you in about half an hour for my next bunch of supplements. Woo! So many supplements, so expensive. And we're back. We're back. It's now 12:32, and now we have another scoop of the multi-mineral mix. So 1 scoop of that, and then I'm back to the ascorbic acid. So there's 2 scoops of this, which is 4 grams. And then I will mix it all together, neck that down. And I just try to keep a bit of a gap between this and thyroid and anything else. I can't, there are reasons for separating out the thyroid, and I, for the life of me, can't remember what they are. They are listed, however, on Dr. Myhill's, in her book on the thyroid, and also on her website. So yeah, there are good reasons. And because I know that taking the thyroid sublingually means that it's absorbed in the body much faster, and you don't have to leave such a big gap. So I'm just, I think 35 minutes, 35 minutes is about okay. I hope so. Let's hoover this one up now. So it's 3 o'clock and time for my next set of supplements. I have no idea how I'm going to cope with all this when I'm back to work. By the way, haven't figured that out. Fortunately, I'm going to be working from home for a little while. But yeah, when I go back to teaching, I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out. So I'm on my 3rd scoop of the multi-mineral mix now in the water. There we go. Swizzle it around. Knock it back. Oh, if only it tasted nicer. Now I am taking the second 2 of my Performance Lab Multi. As I say, this is number 3 and number 4 today, which feels like a lot. And then finally, I'm having benfotiamine. Now, I'm not quite sure what this is exactly. It's one of the B vitamins. I just can't remember which one. And it has something to do with supporting methylation, because Dr. Myhill indicated in my management plan that I am a, quote, poor methylator. What does that mean? don't really know. But I think that's what this was for. I'm pretty sure it was. And I think the glutathione helps with that as well. But please do, check all these things out. Yes, they are coming from Dr. Myhill. And yes, I think it's all, this kind of thing is quite common for those of us. The need for it is quite common for those of us with ME/CFS, but it won't necessarily be all of us. So, there we go. See you again at about 5:30. Hi. So it's just before 5:30, and I am going to do, I'm near the end now, my next potion. Yes! Oh, so exciting. So this is number 4. Thank goodness. Done. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Multi-mineral mix. Now this next bit, right, it is the nastiest, the most disgusting drink now of my day since changing to straight ascorbic acid from the magnesium ascorbate, which was the disgusting winner before, but now this is. And it's also particularly vile because of the quantities. So what it is, I can't remember. Remember, I have an ME brain, right? Which means I don't really have one. Certainly not as the day goes on. MSM, can't remember what it stands for, but it is sulfur. And Dr. Myhill has quite a lot to say about this. When I came down with ME/CFS, I don't remember her mentioning this supplement at the time, but she's got quite a lot to say about it now, drawing upon quite a lot of research. So it looks like it's something that's potentially very, very good. And yeah, I won't go. I may just put a link to the appropriate webpage where she goes through everything in beautiful detail. But it definitely has a good effect on your bowels. All right. So, but what you do is you build up. I think is it every day you build it up every day. It's something like that. Like I say, ME brain, end of the day. And you build up by 1/4 teaspoon a day until you reach 6 teaspoons. 6. That's where I'm at. And then you neck it, and then you stay at 6 teaspoons for 2 months. And then you go back, because I'm not there yet, I can't remember, but from memory it's either then you go back to a kind of 1 or 2 teaspoons a day. I think it's 1, but I'm not sure. Again, I'll share the link. So 6 teaspoons. 6. I mean, as I'm doing it, I'm just going, every teaspoon I'm going, 1. No, let it stop. 2. No, we've got another 4. 3. 4. 5. 6. I'm not going to drink it in front of you. That is the potion, right? Probably need a bit more water. I'll probably add a bit of water. That is the potion. I will whiz it round and then neck it. Another thing I neck. But I'm getting better, right? So it's worth it. It's worth it. Hi. So it's actually still 5:30, but I'm getting really tired. I'm getting really, really tired. So I need to stop doing these videos and I need to lie down and not get up again. So I'm just going to run through now what I do at about 9 o'clock. It doesn't matter too much as long as this is separated, right? Taking this iodine is separated from taking vitamin C. You can actually take it at any time. Dr. Myhill recommends taking it at the end of the day, which is why I've set it for 9 o'clock. And what you do is there are lots of different strengths of this Lugol's iodine, and I've got the 5% solution. Now, she's got a table on her webpage on iodine that gives you how many drops you should have per solution. So, so I made the decision, because I'm new to iodine and I wanted to build it up gradually, I made the decision to go with the 5% iodine solution, all right? And right now, because I'm adding 1 drop per week, because I'm on, well, I'm still strictly speaking in week 5 of taking the supplements, but I'm impatient. So I might have gone slightly under a week every time I increased, just by day 2 to start with. It has actually, though, it has been 7 days since I last upped it. So I'm now up to 6 drops, okay? And then what I'll do, I won't do this now, all right? But what I will do is mix it with just a bit of water up to about here, slosh it around, and then just drink it by kind of sloshing it around my mouth before swallowing, all right? So that happens at about 9 o'clock. So I'm going to set this aside for now, for later. All right, so now we're pretending it's about 9:30 at night, which is the time I normally start to, really, really, really wind down for bed, with the hope that I'll be asleep between 10 and 10:30. I'm not a great sleeper. I mean, sometimes I sleep like a baby or like a cat, actually. I like to think sometimes I sleep like a cat. And other times I sleep like a baby, which is waking up half the night, feeling like I'd like to scream, feeling like I quite like somebody to give me a cuddle to get me back to sleep. Sorry, it's shaking. I'm holding it. So what I have at night, all right, sleep is really, really important. Dr. Myhill talks quite a lot about how important sleep is. We all know it anyway. We know what, even when we're fit, well and healthy, we know what a difference good sleep makes to us. So to help me, I have, this is what I referred to earlier. This is Performance Labs sleep concoction capsules. And I take 2 a night. And it's quite expensive. It's really quite expensive. And I tried not taking it for a while. It's all herbal. So, oh man, I didn't bring my glasses. I'm going to have to go from memory. What memory, Louise? Key ingredients: magnesium, buckthorn. I don't think I've just made that up, and possibly some other things. So it's au naturel, but yeah, bloody expensive, but really helps. So yeah, worth it. I tried coming off for like a couple of weeks and it was a nightmare. So I'm like, okay, all right. Then because that still was, it helps. It really does help because I'm a terrible sleeper otherwise. My husband got some of these, right, which are antihistamines, but they make you drowsy. So historically, I used to take the nitols, the antihistamine active ingredient nitols. But yeah, this is apparently the active ingredient in night nurse, which is just amazing when you take it when you've got a flu and just knocks you out. So I'm having one of those. Apparently for sleep, you can take 1 to 2. So I keep it to one of those a night. And I've been measuring my sleep with my watch, which I've stolen from my son, who had it as a cast-off from his aunt. So yay for my sister-in-law, woohoo! And it just clocks my sleep. And what I did is I came off them for a week and just stayed on these, right? And what happened was, what I noticed was in that week, I got an hour less sleep per night. I got less REM sleep and less core sleep during that week. And having done a bit of reading, I know that some of the critiques about sleeping pills, and these are not classed as sleeping pills. I'm talking, so, your doctor gives you sleeping pills. One of the critiques of those is not only that they can be addictive, but that they reduce the amount of REM and core sleep that you get. And what I found in that week of coming off, off these, is that actually coming off them, my REM and core sleep went down. So I thought, well, I'll keep on that, the antihistamines for a bit longer. I might finish the packet and then see what happens coming off them. Yeah, so that's what I'll have at night. The magnesium in the sleep aids, in the Performance Lab sleep aids, that's obviously really important and really helpful. And I mean, that's something new that I've learned, is that magnesium is really important to relaxing us and enabling us to sleep. So I also have, what also helps me to sleep at night is an Epsom salts bath. Sometimes I'll add some essential oils, but quite often it's just the Epsom salts, which enter our system transdermally through the skin, apparently, and is just really relaxing. And I can't say that I've cracked sleep because I really haven't. But my watch tells me that I am averaging now 7.5 hours a night. So that's pretty good. That's compared to what I have been in the past, that's pretty good. So that's the day of supplements. I hope it's been helpful. They are expensive. It takes a while to get into the routine of them. Go kindly with yourself. Try not to be in too much of a rush. Note to self. And yeah, good luck with it.